right.
Okay, Bobbie, ready whenever you are.
Franklyn, welcome to Dallas.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed Starlight Express, this production of it. I really had a great time with it.
Great.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I was born there, grew up there. I went to Penn State University, so I'm sort of a Pennsylvania person. But I was living in New York City before I got this job.
So you performed at Penn State, I guess?
Yes.
In productions?
Yeah, I did a lot of shows there.
Was drama your major?
Yeah, I was a BFA in musical theater. That's what I graduated with.
And now, of course, here you are playing Rusty, the steam engine, the
Yep.
little engine that could in Starlight Express. Do you look at trains differently now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's hard, you know, not knowing anything about trains, and then suddenly we know about all sorts of different kinds of trains. And I remember when we were pulling into Kansas City, when we were there was a huge train that was passing by our bus as we were going from the airport. And it's funny, you see all these like 29 people with their faces pressed up against the window like, oh my God, there's a train. It says Santa Fe. It says Union Pacific. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
You spend the entire show on roller skates.
That's correct.
Are these very special made, excuse me, are these specially made skates?
They are custom made to fit our preference of where we would like our wheels to be in relationship to the boot. They are actually ice skating boots, Rydell boots, so they're very sturdy. And our skate instructor, Michael Fraley, actually put all the hardware and the wheels onto the skates for us.
And each actor has how many boots?
2. I have 2 pairs.
When you got cast in this, did you know how to skate?
I had no idea. I had no clue. And actually the audition notice said that no skating experience was required. So just went to the audition, sort of never in a million years dreaming that I would ever be in a show with roller skating. But 5 callbacks later, I got the job, and they said that we go through a month and a half of intense skate training, 9 to 6 every day.
Now, supposing you went to the skate training and you still couldn't skate very much and you fell down a lot, then what would happen?
Well, falling down is sort of goes with the whole package, but they would just work with us individually till we got it. I mean, obviously everyone had their strengths and their weaknesses, and it was about half the cast that previously did not know how to skate before the contract. So, I mean, you had quite a mix of people in there, and I mean, I personally had, I had breakdowns, I had frustrations, I was, you know, we'd all just start crying in the middle of the skating rink because it really is a frustrating thing. But, you know, a month and a half later, we were actually pretty good. And I mean, our training continued even throughout the rehearsal process, and I mean, I probably really didn't even start to feel comfortable on my skates until very recently, because, you know, when you're doing the show, the margin for falling or tripping or, you know, just making a mistake on your feet is very great.
And the choreography is quite intricate.
Yes. Yeah, not only do you have to think about, you know, your arms and what's going on, but I mean, there's a lot of little technical things that you have to think about with the skate itself. With 8 wheels on your feet, it's really a unique situation.
I can't even begin to imagine what opening night was like, because, I mean, here you are, you have jitters anyway on opening night. And then now you've got the skating to worry about.
Yeah. Not only, I mean, the show sort of came together in a pinch, and not only was I worried about, you know, singing and my acting and remembering the choreography, I mean, through the show, you're constantly worried, please don't let me fall, you know? So I was very, very nervous. But we got through it, we pulled it off, and, you know, we only get better as time goes on.
I wonder if there's a saint for don't let me fall.
Right?
Dear Saint so-and-so. One of the really fun parts of this movie for the audience is the fact that the races, we see them on film in 3D, and so we put on these goggles.
Yep.
And have you ever been able to see it out front with the goggles?
I've seen each race one time with the goggles. It was during the rehearsal process. When the movie was actually finished, we had a cast screening with that, but that was way back in April, and I haven't seen them since. We sort of, when we wait backstage, we can see the reverse of it on the screen, but yeah, I mean, they're pretty cool. I remember being very impressed.
Some of the people were in the original Starlight Express, where they had the ramps and skated out into the audience. What did they think of the 3D effect?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's hard for people who've done the show before, because a lot of the appeal for the audience was all the skaters coming out into the audience and it being right in your face like that, and I guess it was very exhilarating. But the people who've done the races before have also said that it's nice to not do them because they're so physically demanding that when they're finished, I mean, you're just huffing and puffing, and it's really hard. So they all like the break, but we all think that the 3D film works rather well.
The costumes are such a big part of the look of the show. They're really incredible costumes. But they look like they would be somewhat uncomfortable and very hot.
Well, they're very, very hot. I mean, take it from me, I sweat buckets every show, and I have one of the lightest costumes. I believe the heaviest costume in the show is almost 50 pounds. Yeah, and I mean, everyone has heavy, heavy boxes, and the suits themselves are thick and very heavy, and I'm wearing a liner and a leotard underneath, and so it's hot.
And how many different costumes do you have?
I only have one, personally, but I think the most anyone has is two costumes.
How do they maintain them from show to show and performance to performance?
Well, they get, I mean, honestly, they're kind of nasty. There's no way around that because we sweat so much, but they are cleaned and dried as much as possible in between every performance. And a lot of them are also very old. Some of them are from the Broadway company, the national tour that was like in the late 80s, and also the Vegas production. So we're wearing costumes that are like 10 years old too, so it's not just our sweat in there.
Who knew? Who knew? As you tour from city to city, do you have your own floor that is put down?
Yes, we actually travel with, I don't know how many inches high it sits off the ground, but we have our own deck, complete with turntable and in-ground lights, and also a second level and 2 ramps on the side, a 7-foot and a 4-foot on either side.
How scary is that when you have to go up the ramp?
Well, not anymore. I mean, it's sort of second nature now, but I mean, I remember the first time that I had to even like roll up the ramp a little bit. My heart was pounding so fast and we were all so nervous. But I mean, you get used to it, and now it's just fun.
Here you are a singer, and you've got some big numbers in this show. And you're skating like crazy. How do you maintain the breath control?
It's all stamina work. I mean, we trained during rehearsals countless hours a day, just, you know, skating the set and getting ourselves ready to be able to sing and skate and dance and do everything that we need to do. And a lot of us, I mean, we're in the gym. When we're not in rehearsal or in the show, we're all in the gym, so we try to stay in pretty good shape so we can sing and not be huffing and puffing and worrying about our breath.
Well, it's just, your performance is just extraordinary, and everybody in the cast is really very strong and very good. And I think anybody could enjoy this, but I hope people will bring their kids, because the kids just have to be just gaga over all of this.
Totally. It's a very exciting show, so I mean, not only for kids, but I think there's a lot of adults can relate to too, but I mean, definitely it's a show for kids.
Yes, and people don't need to be afraid to bring their kids. That's the point.
No, it's a family show all the way.
Okay. Well, Franklyn, thank you so much, and I hope that you enjoy your stay in Dallas, and I hope that Starlight Express does fabulous business.
Well, thank you.
Okay, very good. That's very good. Hey.
Okay.
All right, I'll just talk and just so you can just react to it. I saw this show before when they played it here in the music hall. It was I think in the 1991 season, and they did have somewhat out into the audience, and I don't know. I think it's a show that was ahead of its time.
Oh yeah.
And I just didn't really latch on to it, and yet.
Feeding there, Bobbie, and we're going.
Do you look at trains differently now?
Definitely. I've been going from knowing nothing about trains to everything about every different sort of train.
That's fine. Okay. When you were cast, did you know how to skate?
Absolutely not. Did not know a thing. Maybe skated in elementary school.
That's fine. Okay. If you didn't know how to skate, how did you learn so quickly?
Well, we went through an intensive skate camp in the beginning of the rehearsal process for about a month and a half.
Okay, that's fine. I can't even begin to imagine what opening night was like. Here you were singing, acting, and now you got to worry about the skating.
Yeah, I mean, I was nervous. I don't think I've ever been more nervous in my life because the show sort of came together.
That's fine. Okay. The costumes are just outstanding, but they look very uncomfortable and extremely hot.
Yeah, I sweat a lot, I'm not going to lie. My costume is about 25 pounds, I think.
Okay, that's fine. Are the skates made especially for this show?
Yeah, they are actually put together for each one of us as an individual by our skate instructor, Michael Fraley. The boots are actually ice skating boots. They're very sturdy.
Okay, that's fine. As you travel from city to city, do you have your own floor to put down?
Yeah, our set is completely our own. We have a floor that sits, a couple inches off the stage.
All right. One of the innovations about this production, we have to look through our goggles for the 3D effect. Have you been able to see it that way?
Yeah, I saw each film once, and that was during the rehearsal process. I really haven't seen them since.
Okay, that's fine. The people who were in the show originally, where they had the ramps, what did they think of the 3D effect?
Well, I think the people who have done it before are sort of partial to the actual races, but the one thing that they've told me is that the show is a lot easier without them because they're very intense and they're very physically demanding. So, they get to sit back and relax and let the movie do the races for them.
Okay. All right. Let me just check one thing, Arthur.
Okay.
Before you turn it down. Oh, okay. I know one thing. All right.
We still have speed, so.
Okay.
Do.
How do you sing and skate at the same time and still maintain breath control?
Well, we did a lot of stamina work in the beginning of the contract. And, we were constantly skating the set, getting our heart rates up, and just getting used to the breath control that it takes to sing and skate.
Okay, that should do it.